Hey, hi, Bharat.
Hi Ramya, how are you?
Doing good. How about you?
Very good, yeah. All good.
Nice. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for joining us on this Insta Live session. This, I think, is a very, very important topic for parents to know about, right? In the current context and current scenario, a lot of students are going from class 10 to class 11, and parents have to kind of make a decision, right, in terms of the board, subjects, all of these choices. So while parents are familiar with CBSE and ICSE and the other boards, NIOS I think is a fairly new entrant to the educational system. But it will be good, like if parents can understand about this, that will be like really, really helpful for them. So parents, welcome to the Career Compass series hosted by Lodestar Career Guidance, where we help students make real education choices and help them to find clarity, confidence, and direction. Today we are talking about one of the most important and topics for class 10 students. We are going to demystify this topic because there is so much of confusion about this particular area. We have with us Bharat Mundra. Bharat Mundra is the founder of IBOS School, Indo-Bharat Online School, and has been a pioneer in the field of online schooling. So thank you for joining us, Bharat. We are very glad to have you here. Can you please introduce yourself for our viewers?
Thank you, Ramya, first of all, for having this podcast. It's an incredible opportunity, and we've been doing a lot of podcasts with, educators like you and making sure that the curriculum which we are running actually, benefits the masses, benefits the students who are looking for non-traditional models. Of course, there is an element of acceptability which is attached to the curriculum, and that is why we are making sure that it reaches out to each and everyone out there. To our listeners, to the parents, to the educators, I feel humbled to represent the curriculum on behalf of our school and making sure that there can be lots which can be discussed in the coming questions. So to introduce myself, my name is Bharat Mundra. I am the founder of IBOS, Indo Bharat Online School. IBOS is India's premier online, globally focused National Institute of Open Schooling, NIOS High School. So here, we're going to discuss definitely about the way IBOS has benefited the students and how we've had a clear focus on students who do not fit into the traditional brick and mortar institute, how they can be benefited from with a school like us and still make sure that the admissions to highly selective colleges is possible.
Great. Okay. So let's begin with a question that every parent has, right? Is NIOS really safe and valid?
So NIOS is the largest open schooling system in the world. It is an independent board of education under the Ministry of Education, Government of India. So it was established way back in 1989. So, it administers examinations for grades 10th and 12th primarily. With IBOS, we've always introduced ninth and 11th also, because if you look at the college admissions, they would need the students to at least complete two grades from a similar school. So it can be either ninth or 10th or 11th and 12th, which we do for the students. This board is an independent board which is completely at par with the CBSE state boards and the IB and IGCSE curriculum across the country. So the NIOS programs pay special attention towards requirements for the first generation learners, physically, mentally, and visually challenged learners who are, and candidates from disadvantaged sections of the society. We have had exceptional global undergraduate admits in the past few years, and we continue to nurture the incredible pool of talent globally.
Nice, really nice. So, so many parents are actually considering NIOS of late, right? So,
Yeah.
is it more like a last resort or is it a good, smart choice?
So we've had incredible students in the past few years, from the top Cambridge IB schools doing the online school with us as it matches their existing sports or extracurricular schedule. So definitely, I would say that this is the smart option, and for some, it might be a last resort also, because owing to the flexibility and owing to what the student actually needs at that time, I would say that the students could pick this curriculum depending on what their existing circumstances are and what actually they require in the later stages of their academic journey.
Nice. Okay. What is the biggest myth that you wish parents knew when it came to the NIOS syllabus?
Interesting question. We've had a lot, questioning from parents, because you very rightly said that this is a curriculum which is very less explored. Because generally, if you see a parent, they would know what a CBSE curriculum is, they would know what an IB curriculum is, or they would know what a Cambridge curriculum is. But when it comes to NIS, then of course they've had a lot of long list of questions. And we as a school, I as a mentor, I'm always open to the questions which they have, and I'm always would like to share my ideas with the student. So like I would say, the NIOS kids are certainly viewed on the same page with every other curriculum out there. Parents really want to know that, are the kids special, or are they viewed differently when we make the college admissions? So even if a student is doing online school with us, doesn't mean that their physical activities and their social circles have been limited. The child is doing online schools in the first place because she needs to manage their already occupied schedule for the entire day, coupled with academics. So we've had exceptional US college admissions with the NIS curriculum, as this facilitates the option of highlighting non-academic achievements of the students in the common app applications
Hmm.
for US and UCAS applications for the UK. So I would
Hmm.
say it is definitely not viewed differently. In fact, the students doing the NIOS curriculum have an edge over the other students, because if they're just doing the regular academics, the university would always want a mixed blend of both the academics and the co-curricular activities. So doing this, the student has a lot of time to themselves, and that's where they can highlight their achievements in the common app.
Got it. Okay. So, does this apply to the Indian syllabus as well, Indian scenario as well? Like, if student is planning to study in India after class 12, then does NIOS as a board work for them?
Yeah, so this is an Indian curriculum, so NIOS would definitely work for the students, even if they're considering Indian colleges. We've had, very good colleges accepting the NIOS, owing to the fact that the student was able to showcase his or her capabilities along with the curriculum. So, you talk about, all those liberal arts colleges, you talk about top business colleges, they all would accept the NIOS primarily if the student is able to showcase his capabilities while doing it with the regular school. So with us,
Hmm.
as we have live one-to-one online classes, we've got so many other activities going on. We've got a team which does the counseling. We've got a team which does the college applications. So this is how the student is different from the other students who is doing the regular curriculum. Of course, they can do it directly also, but of course, there's always an element of professionalism involved when it's done through IBOS.
Yeah, the structure I think is very important, right?
Yeah, the structure is
The
very
structure
important.
which is
The
online
parent,
school.
yeah, you very rightly said. The parent is clueless, the student is clueless as to how to move forward, because they're picking onto something which they were not ready for, to be honest, because what they were, the path which they were shown was a regular school with a regular curriculum. Now, if they're choosing something non-traditional, it becomes our responsibility to make sure that we, make the journey a little bit easier. So with us, it's more structured, it's completely tailor-made according to the student, and that's what the student would want moving forward, to pick an online school like us.
Got it. Okay. Parents often ask us if NIOS is right for my child. So let's clarify this a little bit more.
Yeah,
So Bharat,
absolutely.
who
Yeah,
should, so
yeah.
sorry, Bharat, who should consider NIOS and who should not?
So the students, I can just quickly tell you the type of students who are registered with us. Students with academic challenges, learning disabilities. Like they're not able to cope up with the existing board, or they've got some other career plans aligned, which is not covered in the regular school. Because let's say they want a set of subjects which would be handy for them for the undergraduate curriculum, but let's say they're not available with the school, because with the NIOS they've got a mixed array and a long array of subjects which they can pick. So I think this curriculum can be very well suited for these students. A student might be having a learning disability, let's say slow learners, autism, ADHD, and they would not want to go to a special school. So, it's either a regular school or an online school which can focus on the students one on one. So, that's when a student would be more suited to pick this curriculum as compared to the regular school in which they're already going. Students with artistic athletic challenges, like I already mentioned, that let's say a student is into sports and they want to devote more time towards sports, so they can pick this curriculum with us and do the online classes and still mix it up with their existing schedule, which is not possible with a regular school because, of course,
Right.
percentage criteria, you're very well aware, is
Correct.
attached to it. So, that's when a student would want something which in which he can get the academics also, plus he can balance it out with the sports. There is another category of students which has picked up a lot of traction post COVID, which is the homeschooling aspect. There was a recent article that a lot of students in Bangalore and, of course, tier one cities are getting homeschooled primarily because they want something which is online, and they have been quite resistant to the idea of sending children to physical schools. There might be bullying, there might be medical conditions attached to a student which is not preventing him or her to go to that school. So that's when online setup has been pretty much welcomed by the parents. Like when we tell them that this is going to be online and completely as per the convenience of the student, that's when they say that yes, we can take this. So I would say COVID has been a blessing in disguise for us. I mean, if we look at the positives, then yes, the homeschooling aspect has also increased. There is one more segment where the NIOS curriculum can be pretty much handy. Would be, let's say students has not been able to do well in the existing curriculum, let's say IB or Cambridge. They can enroll with us. They can write the same exams with the NIOS curriculum, owing to the flexibility it has, and they can immediately write the same subjects with the NIOS curriculum and get the results. So instant exams, instant results, anytime admissions. These are some things which a parent and a student at a certain point of his or her academic journey would want. So NIS gives this flexibility, and plus as we have live classes for them, so it's not like a new concept for them because they already studied the subject. It's just that understandably the curriculum might be a little bit different from what they've already studied, but if you talk about the basics, if you talk about the basic nuances of that subject, it's always there in all the curriculums. So I
Got
would say the on-demand feature, I mean, we've helped a lot of students from primarily from tier one cities who have taken this benefit, given the exams, and still taken the admissions in the same college in which they had provisional admission earlier, because the rule is that they'll have to apply 6 months prior to the exams. So
Oh, okay.
giving the NIO certification to the college would assure their seat, and they would not have to reapply or waste that precious year. Because I understand that a gap year, I mean, there's no harm in taking a gap year, but I view a gap year more useful when they do it after college rather than doing it after school. That's what my personal opinion is. And the last benefit, which I personally also like, is the subject change feature. We've been approached by so many parents out there, students out there, that they've not taken a particular subject, let's say physics or bio, moving forward, and the student wants to do NEET. Now, in order to do the NEET exams in India, they'll have to have these subjects primarily in their 11th and 12th. Now, with the existing school, of course, it's not possible. I understand how the curriculums work, and they'll not be able to add that subject, remove that subject. So with the NIOS curriculum, they can add or remove the subject anytime across the year. So this feature has gained so much likes from the parents and the students who would want this in the last year of their schooling, let's say grade 12. So I would say a parent should consider NIOS when they are in the midst of these circumstances. If they are doing well in a school and if everything is well balanced, I do not see the parent to switch their child to an NIOS curriculum. This is only and only if they're falling in these circumstances which I mentioned earlier, is when the students should opt for the curriculum like NIOS.
Got it. So does NIOS close old doors? Sorry. Does NIOS close some doors or does it open new ones?
So doing NIOS will certainly open doors, as it enhances the possibilities of managing a lot of other exams like APs, SATs, given the fact that the student has a lot of time for himself or herself to actually devote towards these exams. Now, moving forward, when the students are considering highly selective colleges, a student would always want a set of exams to like add on to the existing school curriculum. So I would say that when the student is doing the NIOS curriculum, they can easily do. We've had a lot of students doing this, and with a regular school, it's not possible because it drains out the students so much that they're
Yes.
not able to focus on the other things. So doing the NIOS curriculum, there's a high probability of the student doing this and getting into the highly selective colleges, even though they say that the APs and SAT is optional, but supplementing something with academics like APs and SATs has always been handy. And you're the mecca, I mean, you're the expert in college admissions. So I'm sure you'll agree with me in this case that if the student is able to showcase the SATs and APs along with the NIOS curriculum, they they stand a very good chance to get admissions in these colleges.
Yes, perfectly. I completely agree with that. So let's talk practical. How does it actually work? So what is the NIOS journey really like? Like, from choosing subjects to writing exams. Can you share your insights on that?
Yeah. So the typical admission process with us would take 1 week, and it consists of 5 short stages. We've kept it very simple because we understand that the parent is in need of something which can simplify it for himself or herself, and the student also understands it in and out. So, I mean, of course, there's an online form which we have. The parent would have to fill the online application form on our website, which is available. So once they fill it, then of course they'll have to review a recommendation letter from the student's previous counselor, because the students who would be coming to us generally would have a counselor aligned to himself or herself, because we have kept the model in such a way that the students who would be coming to us would either be through independent counselors or through school counselors or any education, any person who's related to the education field, because that is when they seek assistance from somebody who can give them an alternative view. So step 3 would be an interview round, which would be focused on discovering the student's background, his career thinking, what exactly he or she wants to do after grade 12, because college admissions have also been very important for us, personality and interest. So then the student would attend a mock online classroom session with our tutors. So these tutors would be doing it live, like I said. And the last step would involve a natural ability and talent evaluation by a counseling expert. So that counseling expert would be from IBOS, and they're going to see that, how the student is doing and what exactly the subject should be for the student. And the last would be like once the decision is taken, the committee reviews it and the student can take the admission in the school. So for grade 10th, the subjects are pretty much, like I said, the subject selection is vast. The student will have to pick 5 subjects, and all the major subjects which is available in a traditional school, like language, English, Hindi. There is a local language also. Let's say if they're from Mumbai, Maharashtra, then there is Marathi, and there are other languages also depending on which city they come from. Because NIOS is throughout the country, it's across.
Stand,
So
yeah.
they cater to students from pan India, and of course we've had students from the Middle East also. So there's maths, there is science, there is SST. Similarly, grade 12 will also have the student picking 5 subjects, but of course they can mix and match science, humanities, and commerce, and they can take any 5 subjects. Now this option is incredibly handy for students who want to do dual learning after grade 12. So they can mix and match the subject, and there are very non-conventional subjects like mass comm, painting, environmental science, tourism, which is also available. And hence the student can pick these subjects and accordingly supplement it with the main subjects. The examinations are pen paper, so we've had students from India and the Middle East registering with us. They primarily would choose the pen paper option, and we as a school would always want them to write the pen paper exams. And the best part is we can give them a center in their own city, so there's no travel involved. It's
Wow.
once a year when they have to go and write the pen paper exams.
Got
We've had students from the Middle East also registering with us. Of course, Africa also registered with us. So we have the authorization to conduct the online exams for these students if they're registered from us outside India.
got it. Okay. All right. So one of the biggest fears of a parent has in their mind is, will my child fall behind? Right? How does IBOS and NIOS keep a student on track? You're muted, Bharat, for some reason.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Sorry.
hear.
Yeah. So the reason why we have kept the IBOS model as live one-to-one is because we want to make sure that the child is personally monitored and kept track of. With personalized WhatsApp group consisting of parents, student, and the tutor. To weekly tests, our team makes sure that the nuances of the school is strictly followed. So definitely there is complete track on the student. We want to make sure that even if the student is not doing the traditional school, and even if there's no physical touch involved in this, we will still make sure that there's a proper schedule which is there. And to be honest, till date, I'll be very honest with you, the online classes which we have had, we have never had a single case when the student was not doing the online class, because there is a lot of responsibility attached to it if they refer through counselors. So that is why we have kept it completely through counselors, because we want to make sure that this online model is successful. So if there is an educational like a professional involved in this along with us, this makes the journey quite easy for us also. And that is what the parents have really appreciated also, because we have completely made them the main key stakeholders in this by involving them in the WhatsApp group and making sure that they're sent the weekly test reports.
Got it. Now, the biggest concern, what about my child's future?
Yeah.
So what does life after NIOS look like? Can students pursue mainstream careers?
Yeah. So we've had students pursuing multiple types of careers, after high school, owing to the subject's flexibility, like I mentioned earlier, in the NIOS curriculum. With all the new age careers ranging from digital and tech driven, like blockchain developer, to business, like media and creative careers, like social media managers and influencer marketing manager, we have seen that careers flourish completely as per the students strengths and capabilities. With a lot of new age careers coming into focus and a lot of vocational activities being given importance, I still believe that subjects like like the non-traditional subjects that NIOS offers, the colleges have drawn more attention towards the fact that if the students can do this, then they would be more suited to our curriculum. And gone are those days when we used to have like fixed careers. There's a wide array of careers available, and NIOS makes it possible for each and every student to go to any college which they want to. There is no cap on the there is no limit, there's no cap on the colleges available.
Interesting. Yeah, that's really good to know, because that's, I think, a very, very important question that many parents have in mind.
Yeah.
So can you share one success story with us?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still remember way back in 2022, when the COVID cases were still on the rise, but, eventually the physical schools reopened. They had online classes, the students were okay. But as soon as they opened, like I still remember a kid ringing up from a leading school of Mumbai. They called me, and of course, independent counselor, they got the reference. And he expressed his inability to attend the regular school, which had reopened for him, as he had already joined a certain segment of his dad's business. He was taking care of it, he was fully involved during the morning hours to manage it, because the online classes he could take it from his office. So that's when he thought that this is the way forward, and I should utilize this time to doing something which is productive. So now, I mean, owing to the regular attendance mandate, the child wanted to skip the regular 8 to 3 regime. Makes sense, because he wanted to look after the newly set up, business which he had developed. So, approaching high school and he wanted to approach high school as per his timings and convenience, which was not possible with the regular school. So the IBOS model was incredibly handy for him, and he could attend the online classes as per his convenience, and also opt for top colleges later on. So I remember him going to Bryant later on, US, after high school. So he picked up the course which was aligned to his dad's business. He completed that course, and then he came back. So this is the reason why we want to reach out to more and more students. I've I have a lot of stories to be honest, but owing to the time, I'd stick to one. But of course, there are many other stories also. In fact, I mean, to keep it very short, we had a student with learning disability who was very well benefited from this curriculum. So this is also one more success story which is really close to my heart. That we want to reach out to all those LD superstars is what we term them, learning disabilities. So we rather term them LD superstars. So this is also a very good key takeaway for us to keep going with this NIOS curriculum.
Great. So for parents watching now, this one is important. So what's your message for parents who are scared or confused about opting for this board?
The one question which a parent should always ask themselves or the child is that why would they want to take the NIOS route? It's very simple. They have to be very crystal clear in the process as to why they want this. If things are not working out well with the traditional school system, an immediate switch to the non-traditional model is certainly warranted. And with the time progressing by, things are certainly going to get tough with the already pressurized academic system. So quick thinking and broader mindset in this case will always pay off. And definitely, child, if the parent wants to switch, I would say now is the right time. I mean, they should not wait for their grade 12 to be over and then look for options. I would certainly believe that as soon as they see this trigger, or as soon as they see that things are not going on well with the traditional system, I would suggest them to switch immediately to the non-traditional system. And there is no drawbacks to this. It's completely viewed similar to the other students. And I can 100% vouch for the decision that it's going to definitely pay off well.
Great. All right. So if a parent notices that the child is not thriving well in the traditional school, what is the first thing that they should do?
The first thing a parent will always do if things are not working out well would be approach a counselor. They will always, and they should always approach a counselor. An educational counselor definitely would be better in approaching because they would understand the educational journey of the student. Our vision at IBOS since the inception was very clear that we would want the students to attend leading colleges of the world and not just do the high school. In order to implement this, we approached independent counselors and school counselors with respect to student enrollments. If the present circumstances demand the student to pursue the NIOS curriculum, the counselor would always suggest the student and the family that this is the best way forward. Hence, if the NIOS model suits the child's preferences, it's evident that they would perform better in the curriculum. So that is what my key guidance or my key suggestion to a parent would be, that if they're stuck or if the student is stuck, please do consult an academician. Like it can be an independent counselor, it can be a school counselor, of course, because school counselors are also doing a wonderful job. And it's their prime responsibility to guide the parents. If they are approaching the counselors, I would say, and if they've been told to do this, I 100% believe that they should opt for this model.
Got it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bharat, for simplifying a topic that parents have so much of confusion about. I'm sure they have walked away with a lot of clarity and a better understanding of the NIOS syllabus today. To everyone watching, there is no one right path for a child. It is what works for them that is the best path, right? So if you are a parent seeking clarity, guidance, or direction, Lodestar is here to help you out. So book a free test with us, follow us in our bio, and we'll be happy to converse with you and help you to understand, get all your doubts clarified, and help you to make a decision on the path forward. Right? Thank you so much, parents, for joining us. Thank you, Bharat. Have a great evening.
You too. Thank you so much. Bye.